So today we're going to look at doing Lightbox product shots using the Canon ETTL wireless system. I'm just going to talk a little about the gear we're going to be using and how we put it all together. So for our lighting, we're going to be mostly using strobe lighting. We're going to use two Canon flashes, so the 580 EX2 and the 430 EX2. You can do this all with the 430 or you can do it with 580s. Doesn't really matter, they're interchangeable for our purposes. We're going to be using a Canon digital SLR. In this case, it's a 50D. Any of Canon's digital SLRs, and most of, in fact, their prosumer rather, point and shoots will work with this. All you need to ensure is that you've got a hot shoe flash mount, and we'll also be using the Canon Speedlight Transmitter STE2. This is an accessory that will control our flashes remotely. Finally, we'll be using a homemade light box. This light box is just a cardboard box with the sides cut out and parchment paper put on the inside, on the outside and on the inside as well, to give us a seamless white background. And we have this nice little reindeer here as our product. So we're going to start with the 580 EX2. When you turn it on, you'll notice that the ETTL mode will be enabled and the zoom will not be set to anything. This is because it's basically ready to be hot shoe mounted. Now we want to turn on the wireless system, so what we're going to do is we're going to press and hold the zoom button until off starts flashing. Then we're just going to rotate the little knob here until it says slave and push the set button. Now you'll notice that it's set to channel 1 in slave A, and we're going to just leave it like that. And that's it. Yep. So now we're going to look at the 430, and it's pretty much the same as the 580. So once we turn it on, you'll notice once again that the ETTL will be set and the zoom won't be set at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm once again going to hold the zoom button, and then it will automatically go into the wireless mode as there's no master. So I'm going to just make sure that the channel is set correctly and that the slave is set. Now in this case I'm setting it to B, so you can set it either A, B, or C. I'm going to set it to B in order to enable a little bit of functionality later. I'll talk about that once we actually get to it. So now we're going to talk about the STE2. As you can see, it's mounted onto the hot shoe currently. I've got the camera turned on. I'm just going to turn the unit on itself. You'll see the pilot light engage. The other thing, and what I'm doing now is I'm just half pressing the shutter button. What this does is it communicates the initial communication between the camera and the STE2. What you'll see is that the channel is set. You'll see that ETTL is enabled. I've got the ratio turned on, and you can see that the ratio is set to 1:1. Now what the ratio does is, remember how we looked at when we were looking at the flashes, we set 1 to A and 1 to B. So what this allows us to do is that if we push these buttons here, we can actually move we can change the ratio of the flashes to get a proper exposure. So if we move it over to A, flash A will be brighter, flash B will be less bright, and while still maintaining the same exposure. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to actually set everything up. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to assemble the flashes, turn them on, and place them about 2 to 3 inches away from the light box. I'm going to do the same thing with the other flash. Again, I'm just placing it 2 to 3 inches away. Finally, I'm going to put our subject into the light box, kind of near the back. Now the reason I'm putting him near the back is for this particular subject, he's a little bit bigger than this light box was intended for, and so I need to have him all the way in the back so that he gets the even bath of light from these flashes. What they're going to do is essentially when each of these flashes fires, they're going to illuminate these interior spaces here, or these interior papers, and turn them into giant lights, which will then illuminate all of the area around him, essentially bathing him in light. So once this is set up, now once again, just a couple inches away, and both should be about the same distance away from each other. So now we're going to just take the pictures. So once again, same setup. I've got the STU2 mounted on top of the camera, and I'm literally just going to get in there, get a nice tight shot where I don't see the sides at all, and I'm just going to fire away. Now this shot will turn out pretty well. Now we'll take a look at it in a second here. Now the other thing to note is that if you look at the top of the STU2, as we were looking earlier, we can adjust the ratio. So in this case, as you can see, my subject's head is just to the left there, so I'm going to actually adjust it towards the left flash. I'm just going to illuminate him a little bit more brightly. And as you can see, it's a great looking shot.